Mẹ nó không biết làm gì mang con Diệp trốn đâu. Alo, anh Tôn à? Anh tìm thấy Diệp rồi. Thế thì mấy thằng mày cứ theo sát con Diệp cho tao, xem nó đang sống ở đâu. Vâng vâng. Có anh. Đúng, thì thấy nên cô ta cũng được.
The first light of dawn pierced through the misty hills, spilling a gentle golden glow over the vast fields as Tu Diep stepped into her watermelon patch. The crisp morning air was rich with the scent of dew-soaked earth, and her hands moved with a tender precision among the sprawling vines, selecting ripe, juicy melons that sparkled with moisture. Each fruit felt substantial and fulfilling in her palms, a quiet victory for her early toil. By mid-morning, her labor had stuffed a durable hemp sack to its brim and nearly overflowed a wide wicker basket, the sweet fragrance mingling with the soft groan of a distant wooden hut and the cheerful clucking of chickens foraging nearby. The photos scattered around captured this peaceful tableau, a fragile calm veiling the tension lurking beneath. Diep paused to catch her breath, wiping perspiration from her brow, her breath forming faint clouds in the cool air as she murmured, "Today I'll pick some watermelons. They're small but so full of sweetness." She set one aside with care, adding, "I'll leave this here and return with my basket." Inspecting another, she broke into a delighted grin. "This one's ripe and gigantic." A smaller melon elicited a tender chuckle. "So lovely and just the right shape." Her movements flowed like a graceful harmony with nature, her mind at ease, unaware of the gathering storm beyond the horizon. Meanwhile, CEO James climbed the uneven slope to his farm, a heavy sack of feed draped over his shoulder for his trusty dog Hockey. The yard unfolded before him, choked with unruly vines, strewn with fallen twigs, and bordered by sagging fences, a stark contrast to the neat frames in the photos. The neglect gnawed at him. Diep's absence had transformed the place into a wilderness. He scattered scraps for Hockey, who yipped with joy, then grabbed a shovel to clear the clutter. His thoughts raced as he devised his next steps, the shadow of his rivalry with John looming like a dark cloud. In a dimly lit chamber far from the fields, a tense atmosphere crackled. Diep's brother entered with a hesitant, "Father, what's the purpose of this call?" The father's face grew stern, his voice a deep rumble. "James has canceled our contract. He confronted me, warning me away from his family. He's clearly lost his reason and turned reckless." The son paced, his footsteps reverberating. Without that deal, we're in a tight spot. Recovery looks bleak. Yet a crafty, assured smile played on his lips as he faced his father. No cause for alarm, I have Deep as my ace. He crossed us, so we'll use her to hit back. The father leaned forward, scrutinizing his son. You've crafted a plan? The son nodded with certainty, drawing closer. I've got it all mapped out. We'll play this card and let him reel. The discussion took a darker turn. Timber prices have climbed sharply of late, the father observed, his brow creased with concern. James's operation is stalled without wood supplies. The son's eyes sparkled with triumph. I orchestrated that increase to box him in. Every move was deliberate. The father's voice sharpened. How did you pull it off? You need a contingency, son. Plan wisely. The son remained steadfast. No one walks the same road twice. I'm staking everything against James. After a prolonged silence, the father yielded. All right, I'll support you this time. Don't prove me wrong. With a piercing gaze he directed. Send agents to locate Deep immediately. We must know her position at all costs. James won't outsmart me. I refuse to lose again. Back at the farm, James wielded his axe and ascended the hillside. The logs from the photos stacked nearby, their rugged bark splitting under his blows. He chopped banana trees with focused swings, the sound echoing through the valley. Returning with the haul, he mixed the fruit with corn, preparing feed for the chickens and ducks pecking at the soil. He muttered, "Wait a moment, all of you. I need to tidy this place before Deep returns. It's a mess." He tossed the feed, watching the flock scramble. "Almost ready, just hold on." His thoughts turned to Deep's safety, the farm's disarray mirroring the turmoil in his soul as he prepared for the escalating threat. The midday sun blazed fiercely overhead, its searing rays beating down on Tu Diep as she hoisted her bulging sack of watermelons onto her back, the large basket wobbling at her side. She steadied herself with a determined breath, her steps resolute along the winding dirt track leading to the city market. The lush fields melted into the vibrant chaos of urban streets, alive with the drone of motorbikes and the shouts of vendors haggling over prices. Her journey was taxing, the harvest's weight a symbol of her perseverance, yet her spirit remained unyielding. Reaching a shaded corner near the market's outskirts, she arranged her melons on a battered cart, wiping sweat from her face before proclaiming, "Fresh watermelons, just 10,000 vien per kilo." The colorful stack drew a steady trickle of onlookers, their interest piqued by the promise of fresh produce. An elderly woman shuffled closer, her voice croaky, "Slice one open. Show me it's good." Deep nodded enthusiastically, drawing a blade and cutting a melon with a deft slice, the red flesh glowing as she raised it. "Take a look, only 10,000 vien." The woman's expression softened. I'll take 3. Pack them securely. Diep wrapped them with care, her hands trembling slightly from weariness. A young boy approached next. How much for 1 kilo? Diep smiled. 10,000 VN, straight from the field. The sale concluded, she watched him run off, her modest earnings rising as the crowd thickened. At the farm, CEO James wandered the weathered wooden structures, the heat intensifying the decay depicted in the photos. Vines entwining the fences, sheds listing under time's toll. His phone hummed as he called a worker, his voice edged with haste. It's James. Urgent issue at the lumber mill. Get there now. The worker's reply crackled. I'm 10 kilometers away, held up by traffic. I'm on my way. James sighed, running a hand through his damp hair. Wait for me, I'm coming. Don't act without me. Hanging up, he turned to a local handyman by the chicken coop. The man's sun-scorched face a known sight. Sit for a bit, James said, his tone weary yet firm. I need your help. You know the folks here. Find someone to restore this place for Diep's return. Care for hockey, water the plants, tend the poultry. I'll pay 300,000 VN a day. The handyman nodded, stroking his chin thoughtfully. I can arrange that. Mature women might be ideal. They're more attentive than the young who hurry through. James leaned on a rail, reflecting. Good point. Know anyone nearby? The handyman grinned. Many are out of work. I'll ask around. This was Diep's sanctuary, but she's been away. I want it pristine when she's back to avoid trouble. James lowered his voice. They should live here, not just visit. Fair pay. The handyman calculated. It's close to their homes, so 300,000 is fair. I'll find the right person. James handed over a stack of bills. Here's 5 million up front. Send me your account details later. The handyman pocketed it, assuring, I've got this. Check the farm, tell me if you need more. Equipment, feed anything. As the handyman left to seek help, Diep balanced a scale, calling, 2 kilos, 20,000 VN. A customer passed over money, joking, always miss your sellout. Diep packed the fruit, her energy waning. At the mill, James's phone buzzed. Hung. I'm here, Hung said, tense. James replied, Good, let's resolve this. Meet me by the stacks. At the lumber mill, weathered logs loomed in silent, dusty mounds, their surfaces worn and brittle, the air heavy with the musty smell of aged wood, and the unspoken dread of ruin as CEO James met CEO Hung amid the cluttered stacks from the photos. Hung hurried in, breathless from the frantic drive, his shirt clinging with sweat, his shoes stirring dust as he approached. Been waiting long? He huffed, wiping his face with a ragged cloth. James shook his head, his jaw tight, his eyes surveying the desolate yard. Not too long. What's driving you here so fast? Hung released a sharp breath, his voice laced with frustration. I checked every supplier today. Timber prices have soared, so I've brought in nothing new. Look at this. It's all old stock sitting here for a week without fresh deliveries. James frowned, stepping to the piles, his fingers brushing the dry wood. We need a watertight plan or we're finished. This could destroy us. Hung's voice dropped to a cautious whisper, his eyes scanning for intruders. Heard John's out of jail. James tensed, his fists clenching at his sides, the strain evident in his stance. Yesterday, I faced him directly. He's set on taking our company, his resolve unshakable. Hung leaned in, his breath shaky, the news weighing heavily. Could he be orchestrating the price rise? James nodded slowly, his mind linking the scattered clues. John's a figurehead. Someone with deep influence and wealth freed him. Likely a hidden player, operating from afar. Hung rubbed his forehead, the stress deepening his wrinkles. A top-tier figure, perhaps. We must unearth the real mastermind, probe the shadows. James paced the rugged ground, his boots crunching the gravel, nudging a loose log that tumbled with a soft thud, raising a puff of dust. No wood, insane costs. It's a calamity waiting to strike, a threat we can't sidestep. I'll consult a military contact to expose the truth and reveal the puppet master. Hung raised an eyebrow, his curiosity stirred, his arms crossing tightly. Who is this contact and where are they? I need a handle on this. James replied, his voice steady amid the chaos. A high-ranking officer about 300 kilometers away, with connections beyond our reach. I'll take your car. The roads are torn up by landslides littered with rubble. Hung nodded, his face darkening, the responsibility pressing down. Go alone then. Call me when you're done. I'll keep the team from breaking. As James finalized his plans, plotting the perilous drive through jagged mountains and stormy skies, he checked his watch, 7:57 a.m. on Saturday, June 7, 2025, zipping his jacket against the lingering chill. His mind whirled with logistics, gasoline, travel time, the slim hope of aid, while Diep wrapped up her market day. 2 kilos 20,000 VN. To a content buyer, her smile hiding the exhaustion settling in as noon loomed. The market buzzed around her, a lively medley of voices and deals, unaware of the danger closing in. Hidden in the shadows of the midday sun, a tracker crouched behind a bent tree, his phone pressed to his ear as he murmured urgently, "Spotted Diep. She's at the market, surrounded by people." John's voice snapped back, a harsh command slicing through. "Follow her every step. Report her exact location. Don't let her out of sight." The tracker nodded, his eyes fixed on Diep as she packed up. "Yes, sir, I'm on her, tracking every move." At that moment, as the clock neared 8 a.m., James called Diep, his voice thick with protective concern. "It's me. What are you up to now?" Deep's laugh drifted over the market noise, a fleeting joy. Just harvesting and selling watermelons, keeping busy at Uncle's. James's tone turned grave, his grip tightening. Stay home, avoid the market. I'm fearful for your safety with this trouble brewing. Deep brushed it off with a casual tilt, unseen, her voice steady. I'll be fine, just 2 kilometers from home. No cause for alarm. As she hung up and lifted her basket for the return, the tracker's eyes narrowed, mapping her route with meticulous detail, each twist, each stop, and relaying it to John with chilling accuracy, sparking a perilous pursuit that threatened to shatter their delicate balance and plunge them into a deadly fray. The tracker stayed put, blending into the throng as Deep began her trek home, her figure shrinking against the verdant hills. He whispered updates into his phone. She's heading northwest, likely toward that farmhouse we marked. Should I close in? John's voice crackled back, cold and decisive. Keep your distance, but keep her in view. I need the precise location before we strike. James won't expect this. The tracker nodded silently, his heart thudding with excitement, as he trailed her along the winding paths, the stakes climbing with each step. Meanwhile, James eased into Hung's car, the engine growling to life as he prepared for the long journey, his mind a tempest of strategy and anxiety, unaware that the trap was tightening around Deep with every second. The morning light stretched long shadows, a quiet portent of the battle to come. As he pulled away, Hung's voice cut in. Wait, rumors say John's men are active. Be cautious. James gritted his teeth. I will. Keep me informed. The car rolled on, its rumble merging with the faint sound of Deep's footsteps, now shadowed by an unseen threat.
With her husband for about 50 years, she talked of how they met and what their life had been like. And I could tell by her stories and the warmth of her tone of voice that she, too, had a happy marriage. Then it was my turn, and all I could do was cry as I told the story of my own husband's battle with cancer and chronic pain. As unquote, I'm used to asking people what they have learned from their experiences, so it was natural for me to ask her for advice on what happened her deal with the crushing grief